We're here today with Nico from Essence Arenal near the Arenal Volcano. Nico's been here since 2003, but founded Essence Arenal in 2008 as a hostel and hotel, and it has grown in some pretty impressive ways since then. The hotel has now its own restaurant, and Nico has been building a permaculture garden and food forest and other systems that feed into the restaurant, and then of course the restaurant and their guests in the way of compost and various outputs are coming back into the garden, including tours. Nico has really done a great job of integrating a multitude of systems on the farm to be co-supportive and synergistic with each other. It's a really great model. It shows some maturity and development over the years, all the way to the bamboo that you're using to build. So, Nico, tell our audience a little bit about yourself and what got you to want to buy land and build something bigger than yourself to invite people to share.
About myself, I'm German. I grew up in Spain, and now the last 16 years I live in Costa Rica. And this farm was, my mother actually bought this farm, and she just let me play around with it more. She moved away and let me develop it. And yes, it came like a snowball, one thing after the other. I was actually more in real estate in San Jose in 2008 crisis, which was at one point in my brain like a big hole, dark hole, the world is over sort of thing, because my real estate business got me to come here to this beautiful space and be able to change all my life and dedicate it a bit more to the nature, and from here on learn permaculture and be passionate about the nature I see surrounding me.
Great. And did you know about permaculture when you started this project?
No, not at all. We started with the hotel part and the restaurant. And actually the curiosity woke up living here. You know, you see this nature surrounding you, this trees, this symbiosis, beautiful symbiosis, working symbiosis. And actually this was a cattle farm. So I remember I planted like, I think 20 trees. In like 2 years, they did not grow nothing. They were like the same as when I planted them. And that, I think, is what actually woke up the curiosity. And I said, okay, what can I learn? I went to a course, I learned permaculture, and basically was to get the soil back. Yeah, the 20 years cows in the farm just erosionated all the good soil, the good part of the soil. So that's what I learned. That's what we've been doing the last 10 years, basically concentrating in the soil, regenerating the soil, making a nice guild, nice combination of plants who support each other and make an ecosystem, be part of an ecosystem. The ecosystem makes itself.
The hotel, how many years did you have the hotel running here before you started really getting serious about growing food for it, the restaurant? Did you have the restaurant with the hotel at the same start?
We started off, yeah, like an old building, and renewed and grew with the tents, with that glamping. And it went like, from a little thing, we started off with 2 rooms, it grew to what it is now. And actually, that part was financing this part. This took also a little bit, because that's where actually the money from there went into this farm to develop this concept of combination permaculture, spa.
So you started off just buying food from local farmers to feed the restaurant, and then the restaurant fed the building of the gardens.
Yes,
and
correct.
Continue to, and now the gardens are feeding the restaurant.
Isn't that a beautiful symbiosis? I like that way of putting it.
Yeah, no, these cyclical patterns, this cyclical economy or resource movement is really crucial for growth, because the more that we're taking energy out of our system by buying from outside or making these kinds of movements, the system loses energy. It gets energy back, obviously, but if we can generate it all from within, we have a regenerative system, right?
Yeah. You can apply that to agriculture and to ourselves too, actually, what you said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, taking that principle, and that's one of the great things about permaculture, is that it's applicable of the garden. It's applicable in all aspects of our life, because it just trains us to think a little bit more holistically and wiser, and use some of these concepts to, I really like the word synergy, that in the way that when you've got systems and functions that co-support each other, that's maximum energy use. So you had the hotel and the restaurant, and you were buying food, and then you're like, okay, we've got some money, we're going to start planting some fruits and gardens and stuff. When you started taking planting seriously, what were the first things you prioritized for planting?
Rebuilding the ground, the soil, making life again after so many years cows. Yeah, that was the first thing I had to do.
What kind of plants were you using?
Mexican sunflower I used a lot, Madero Negro to nitronize, give nitrogen to the ground. Yeah, those were the basis of the guild, basically. And then watching also by planting a lot of things, who gets along nicer, what guild looks better, what guild does not look so good. So where can I change it? What can I introduce in it? That's a long process, which is not finished yet, the learning part of permaculture. I mean, it's relating nature. So nature is so perfect. I think we'll never really get there to be able to understand such a perfect cyclus, even if we believe we do.
Right. But that's the first permaculture principle. Yeah. Observe and interact, observe and interact, observe and interact. Yeah. Step back, check it out, make changes if needed, keep doing what's working well. One of the things that I saw a lot around here is bamboo, and you're using bamboo, and some of your bamboo structures look like they're very, they're made to last. And then you're using bamboo for tons of other projects just outside. Like, I love it. We saw a volleyball court with poles out of bamboo, just throwing it out in the rain. And you said it's been lasting 5 years, and you can do that because that was one of the first things you planted up, huh? How many different species of bamboo would you say you've got around here?
Yes, I think 3 species. They're very calculated. I want to be careful with them because they can be invasive if you take the wrong species, right? The ones I have here, none of them are invasive. They do like islands. They grow fast. It's a grass. But it's so beautiful because it's part of the ecosystem, you do it, and I don't even treat them. I just let it rot, because then some bugs go in there. They live from that bamboo. The chickens probably eat the bugs who ate the bamboo, and they're like, welcome to the circuit, welcome to join. And I have the bamboo growing, actually needs to be cut again and be replaced for that new volleyball pole or whatever, the greenhouse or the spa or the yoga deck. Most of it's done with bamboo.
Yeah, powerful resource.
Yeah. The tents, the glamping tents are like tree houses. I don't know if you saw them. They're like built on a bamboo structure. And you're like in the jungle, look over the jungle. And we had earthquakes. An earthquake-strong area here. Often it moves a little bit. And the best place to be is in those tents, because the bamboo is flexible. And they call it natural steel, because it's flexible and strong. And it's like just being in a hammock in that moment when a little earthquake comes. Instead, if you're in a built house of concrete, that thing goes up and down with like a box, like a concrete box. That's really violent to feel that in there. Instead, the bamboo swings with the wave, literally.
And so these glamping tents, which is super cool, and it's a strong trend. There's a lot of glamping. There's a lot of places just here in Costa Rica I've seen that have popped up in the last recent years that are just glamping. They've got their whole system laid out with these tents. So you're buying these prefabricated tents, and you're just putting them over a bamboo frame.
Yes. A structure actually from below, because they're like elevated. They're like tree houses. So like a structure from below comes up and holds the platform where the tents are on. Yes.
And the glamping tents, where have you been sourcing the tarp for
I get them from the United States. It's like surplus army things. They sell you, I think they use them like a year or something. And as training normally say, and then you can buy them pretty good and recycle. You take something used for war and make something nice out of it.
Yeah, no, they're super. Super. I don't know. They're cute. There's something about just having like this big tent that has I don't know if it's a romantic quality or what it is about it. I mean, obviously on the practical side, it's a lot cheaper to build than with some other materials. But there's just something about being in that kind of structure. I don't know. It's got its own attraction to it.
It has, absolutely, yeah. It's like, and we all actually love camping, I think, because of the closeness to nature, the sounds. But we don't like put up the tent, have all the consequences of actually camping, which are a bit uncomfortable. And that's what you get here, like out of the way, you've got it all set up, and the experience with the being in nature, so close to nature. Yeah, it's different with a textile material in between you and nature than walls.
Great. Yeah, we've just recently started looking into getting some for our place. I'll look into the Army surplus. That's a good lead. In the restaurant, I saw a number of signs for tours. You guys have actually a lot of services that you offer. I don't imagine you're offering all of those yourself. So you've got a volunteer program here. Some people can volunteer for a period of time. But then who's our volunteers running these tours? Are you running these tours? Who's offering all these services?
No, we have a good, amazing team, which right now, Alejandro, I think you did not meet him because he's not here. But we have who do the yoga, we have special therapists for massage and like treatments. They're not volunteers. Volunteers mainly help in the farming part, maybe sometimes in reception or in kitchen, but not in giving those treatments or tours or experiences. That's people who are part of the team. Jairo does some part. Jairo makes a cacao tour, for example, and we all do some parts of that.
Okay, great. So I imagine, like everything, that's just something that kind of grew naturally. Did people start coming to you, being like, hey, I've got this service or this tour, or did you actively go looking for people to fill these positions or opportunities for guests?
Both on both, I think. I think some things, like, for example, if you need a new chef, I have to search for that new chef in the restaurant. But often, like you said, just people appear and say, hey, I do this and that. I say, wow, how interesting. And from there on, that project grew and developed. And
I'm sure it's built some really great relationships in the village.
Volunteers do that a lot. That's the beauty of working with volunteers, that exchange of ideas, information. Like, we show them things, but they show us so many things too.
Yeah, and you've got lots of painting, a lot of cool murals.
Those are mostly volunteers. I always ask them, are you in painting? Oh yeah, okay. Then I give them a couple of walls to play around, and you see the different volunteer, the different energy all around. I love that.
It makes the place, it gives the place a real fun vibe. Yeah. And actually, when I came in, there was a guest who was here some years ago for several months, and now she's come back. It just feels part of the family right away. 7 years ago, she was volunteer for like 2 months here. And now 7 years later, she came back and staying a couple of nights here as a guest. Yeah, that's a nice re-encounter. With your gardens and your fruit forests, obviously fertilization is important, especially if you're producing for a restaurant. And I'm sure your restaurant produces some significant quantity of compost, which actually you told me you throw all that compost to the chickens, which is great because that feeds back into the restaurant with the eggs and so forth. But you're using your tilapia water, seems like one of your primary compost building elements, yeah? Why don't you tell the guests or the listeners a little bit about that?
Okay, yeah. We have that tilapia lake, which by now I don't know how many tilapias are in there. At one point I put 100 seeds, and then that's like 8 years ago, so right now almost impossible to know how many there are in there. And it's designed in a special way that all the accumulation of the manure and the rest and things which fall into that lake or pond go straight to one exit with a big, I think it's a 4-inch, 5-inch tube, where it goes out, and we water plants with that, the trees once they're big, not the leaves, and that helps the surrounding to build microorganisms. We have a system where that sprays water on the cuttings we have in the farm. Everything we clean or we cut, we make a big mountain there or a big little area, and that is watered with that tilapia water, so that composes in a very good way, fast, and it's very good quality soil later on, and an easy way of leaving nature do it and not being there turning and mixing. And
yeah, I've seen a number of the places we visited on this tour. They're making compost really fast, impressively fast, in a matter of weeks. And that's definitely got its benefit. And you're using, I guess at our place, we go a little bit more for the take longer time, require less energy. You know, we're not like really eager to grow our compost fast. But you're using the system, and I really like it. Actually, we took a video of the system, so if anyone listening wants to see more about this project, you can go to the YouTube video that's linked to in the show notes here. But the system of, any farm, especially in the tropics, biomass grows so fast. And as you said, it's the first thing you planted was trees that grow fast, so you can cut them and use them for mulch and compost and things like that. And we were actually just visiting another guest, Esteban, and he actually uses mucuna as a green manure, and he plants mucuna in areas that he's going to want to plant in the future, and it's a bean that covers the ground with biomass and blocks out the grass. And after, I think he said, he just lets it go for a year and a half, and it kills most of the grass and just builds this huge massive biomass or mountain of it, and then he chops it and leaves it right there, right? So he's killed the grass and he's built chopped the biomass. It's a cool thing to check out that interview when it comes out. But one way or the other, biomass is important for growing soil, and taking it all and inoculating it with that fish pond water is one of the coolest innovations I think I've seen here, that I personally know that I can replicate at my place, having tilapia ponds. And neat system. Is that something you just kind of invented on your own? Did you find that somewhere?
Probably not. I don't know. Probably it's been invented long. I mean, it's just copying what nature does, basically, now. Yeah. So, and maybe that dripping system where we put the grass there, I don't know. Maybe I came up with that, but not with the idea of watering with fish water or things.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and then you said that compost pile of just a ton of green matter, like 2 meter tall stack of green matter being inoculated with this water once a day, that breaks down in about how long?
3-4 months. You've got amazing soil to grow. I can show you later on. I've got the seedlings. We all plant in that kind of soil we do there.
You plant directly in that. You bring that right into your nursery.
Yeah, correct. We take it to the greenhouse. Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. It's just low maintenance, low energy input. That's my style.
His philosophy.
With what you've got going on here, you've grown from something small and you've added systems. And I guess that's kind of the answer to my question, but would you have any particular idea for somebody who has some land? Maybe they have a guest program going on, maybe a volunteer program, and they want to get a little bit more pro. They want to get maybe a functioning restaurant and build up. Do you have any tips in mind for some of the first things they should do in their design process, their plan process, some of the first stages of implementation? Anything come to mind?
Relative where they are, what's keeping them back from doing it different places. Maybe in my case, as I said, it was rebuild the ground but I don't know in what stage some others. I think, probably listen to their instinct and be observant. That's probably the best recommendation.
Do you do anything special, or maybe in those first years, to start bringing guests in and really focusing on the guests' experiences and making sure that they're spreading the word about your place?
Yes, that's why, like, we don't invest in publicity, but our goal in what we always did is say, give every guest the most amazing experience in whatever we can give our best in being attentive to what each of them is looking for or would like to have. And that's going to be the best recommendation. And it's been very successful, honestly. It's went fast and it's solid because it's not you who are basically investing every day something in some ad type. And once you don't pay, publicity is away. It takes a bit longer to build up, but once it's there, it's a very solid form because actually they will do publicity all over the world for you in different forms, and it's exponential action there, you know?
What would you say are some of the special touches you put on your guests' experiences here to make sure that's they're getting that value?
Having every single team member very passionate about what they do, and every team member wanting to give exactly that experience. And that makes an experience. So if everyone here goes into each and single, we don't have many rooms, so we can do that, and we love that amount of rooms, and because we can still be in a personal treat and really go into what needs either dietetical, like in the food, the chef goes into each and everyone and asks them what they like, what they want, then reception and what activity or what needs. So be attentive to each person of the needs of that person who comes, which is easy mostly to fulfill if you're passionate.
Yeah, no, I can confirm that that's effective. I was a little, I don't want to say shocked, but I was definitely impressed at the greeting that we got when we got here. Yeah, we were attended. I mean, like I could imagine at a 4 or 5 star hotel. Really, we got a tour of the map of the property. We were told about the different systems that you have here, different places we could go on the trails just upon arrival. And that really helped me feel grounded into where I am. And also that, yeah, your employees really do care. There was no lackluster. There was no like, okay, I have to tell you about this. Like he felt like he was showing me his place.
Nice.
So you're doing a good job there. Yeah. Felt great.
Thank you very much.
What do you say? Do you have any other last pieces of advice maybe to some landowners that have a piece of property? Maybe they don't have a hotel yet. Maybe they're just starting off and getting building. Building soil was definitely something that we've talked about here. Do you have any just general advice for people that are listening that maybe are still in the city and they want to get back to the land? They're looking for places to go, or maybe they have family land that they want to start doing something with. Do you have any words for the public here?
Yeah, whatever they do on it, that they make it with passion, that they make sure that comes from their heart, that's what they want to do, and enjoy it, and I can almost guarantee they'll have success in that scenario. Beautiful.
Thanks, Nico. This has been a really wonderful visit. Actually, I was here when I first got into the country, and I was doing my tour of Costa Rica, and I remember coming here in those early years, and it wasn't actually you that met us. It was someone else that was looking after the place. But my communications with you when I first started talking was like, oh yeah, I met you, and when I was there so long ago. And now I realize it was somebody else that was showing me the property as if it was his own.
Probably, yes. Even it's everybody's
9 years ago.
Yeah,
from the very beginning.
They feel it all like passion. They're passionate about it. And that's so beautiful to be surrounded by people who are passionate about what they do. And obviously you give passion to. Strong energy makes everything grow.
Yeah.
Don't need so much soil then.
All starts at the heart. All right, my friend. I look forward to our next visit. Thanks for welcoming us.
You know where your home away from home is.